Dating Pangulong Duterte ay traidor ayon pa kay Trillanes. Aba, biglang nabuhay muli sa mundo ng politika na matagal na din itong namamahinga at tahimik. Sinasabayan niya ng pambabatikos ang pakikipagkita ng dating Pangulong si Duterte sa presidente ng China. At biglang uminit ang usapin sa West Philippine Sea. Ito ay sinakyan niya ng pambabatikos laban kay Duterte. Aniya na si Duterte talaga ang may pakana o nagbenta sa West Philippine Sea. Kamakailan lang ay mainit ang usapin sa pagpunta ni Duterte sa China. Kasabay nito ang pagsiklab sa kaguluhan na nangyari sa West Philippine Sea. At bigla na lang itong lumitaw si Trillanes upang ipahid niya ang kaguluhang nangyari sa West Philippine Sea laban sa dating Pangulong si Duterte. At ito ay biglang naging sipsip ngayon kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. At bakit?
Taong bayan na si Duterte talaga yung traidor, ano? Kasi ito re-reviewin lang natin. Nung naupo ito si Duterte for 6 years, pinahinto niya yung EDCA, yung Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. Ito yung supposed to be magbibigay ng counterbalance sa aggressiveness ng China. Pangalawa, pinapasok niya yung mga Togo, di ba? Tapos pati yung sa mga kampo, remember, pinayagan niya mag-set up ng mga towers, yung yung cell sites,
Yung
tsaka yung camps, so pinapasok niya. Tapos yung yung mga infrastructure projects at yung third telco. 'Di ba? Yung Chinese telco ngayon, may common common towers. May higop na nila lahat magiging omnipresent na sila dito. Si Duterte ang gumawa yan. Tapos pero kung magsalita siya na i-misdirect nila. Hindi, ikaw yon. Hindi sila. Pero sa actions nila, ni Duterte mismo, makikita mo na talagang siya ang gumawa. Ewan ko ba dito sa mga kababayan natin kung masyado na kayong in love kay Duterte na hindi nyo na nakikita yung mga katrayduran na pananalita at pinagagagawa nitong.
Ito pala sir, curious ako rin sa Chinese propaganda na madalas nating madinig. No? From your perspective, ano yung pinaka-outrageous o pinaka-nakakabanas na Chinese propaganda na nadinig nyo about the West Philippine Sea?
Etong na-witness ko lang kahapon na hindi naman daw tinamaan yung Coast Guard ship. Alam nyo, ganun gaslight nakita na ng lahat na talagang winater cannon, tinamaan yung barko ng Pilipinas. Pero ang kinakalat ng mga trolls nila, hindi naman daw parang warning shot, hindi naman daw, they came up with edited videos na pinapalabas na hindi tumatama dun sa barko.
Oo, pero siguro sa ordinary troll, kahirapan yung issue, pero paano yung mga analyst na mukhang may kaya naman?
Hindi, yun talagang mga mga mercenaryo na yun. So pera-pera na yun. Kaya nga maganda yung sinabi ni spokesman ng Coast Guard na talagang kung maka-China ka at this point, talagang traidor ka na. No? Kahit na anong intellectual somersault mo rito, maliwanag yung tama sa mali. No?
Well, I can very well understand the purpose of this privileged speech. Today, somebody in this chamber was in the headlines for meddling in foreign affairs. And probably this is one way to camouflage it. But just to set the record straight, this is the first time in my whole career as a senator that I was accused of railroading, pressuring people in this Senate.
Because I believe the details
Well,
of what
I
happened
am asking questions. I don't think you know the rules. I
Yes,
can ask you anything under the sun. I'm going to ask some more questions about you.
yes, Mr.
All
President.
right.
Then I will answer.
Then just
that,
answer my
that's
question,
relevant. Yes,
please.
Mr. President.
If you are a gentleman, and I assume that you are, answer my questions.
Yes, Mr. President.
Now, I am
President.
saying you're telling falsehoods here
Well,
because there are records of our proceedings.
Well, Mr. President,
All right.
okay.
Isn't it a fact that you are angry at me because you were asking me for an additional budget for your oversight committee, and I did not allow it?
No, that is a falsehood,
All
Mr.
right.
President.
Okay, but the record is
Which
such
record?
now.
Which record, Mr. President? If you want, if you are actually daring this representation, Mr. President, for us to take out the list that detailed the actual budget for all the oversight, we can go there, but I'm not inclined to, Mr. President.
You know, Mr. Senator, I was the one who took you out of the rut where you were imprisoned in Camp Crame. I never did this before. I went out of my way to talk to people so that you can get back here in the Senate, and I guaranteed your presence here. But I'm not saying this because
Precisely
I want
you're
you
saying
to
it, Mr.
owe
President.
any favor to me. I'm just putting that on record to show the character of each one of us here. Okay, second, I'm sure that you resented my statement when we were in the cabinet, when you were presenting your supposed position as against the position of the Department of Foreign Affairs, when President Aquino invited me to attend a cabinet meeting on the Scarborough problem, and I told you, who authorized you to make a backroom negotiation with the Chinese for the Scarborough?
Yes, and the
And
President...
you were telling me about treason, remember?
Yes, and
That
the President
Secretary of just a minute.
answered you directly that he authorized me. He told it in your face, Mr. President.
What? Yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's correct.
I
but-
accepted that because I
precisely.
did not know that you were authorized. But the fact is that I asked you, whom did you talk to in China?
I don't need to report to the Senate President, Mr. President.
You have a duty
I
to
am not,
report what you do
obliged.
as a senator to this chamber. And in fact, you have a duty to notify the office of the Senate President when you leave this country to go abroad.
But I did
And
not.
the only time that I have authorized you is one time. I do not know how many times you have been to China. My understanding is you have been to China talking to the Chinese government for 6 times already.
Yes. And I
And that
did
you
not.
have met them 15 or 16 times. For
Yes.
what reason? We do not know. Are you becoming a fifth columnist of the Chinese in this country?
The Senate President is not privy to the backroom channel talks, and I'm not obliged in any way to
I think you
divulge.
have a duty to inform the people.
I'm not. I have already informed the people, but not the Senate President. I'm not obliged to report to the Senate President, and all this line of questioning is irrelevant again. And should this line of questioning continue, I will have to say that I will refuse to yield anymore the floor.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question. You went to China. You asked the ambassador of the Philippines there, Madam Brady, for a meeting, and you said, do not take notes during our conversation. And you called the Secretary of Foreign Affairs a traitor. In fact, you told me that he committed treason.
Yes, it was an executive session, and we're not supposed to
And I
divulge
will
what's
read.
happening in
You
the.
want? I will read into
What-
the record your conversation with Brady
But it's
and
supposed
his
to
notes
be.
to the Department of Foreign
It's
Affairs.
supposed to be a confidential matter.
Yes, but there's nothing confidential.
Even in the executive meeting, cabinet meeting in Malacanang, Mr. President, I will refuse to answer if that's
Because
going
you
to be the
cannot
line.
answer the
No,
questions I'm
because
going
it's
to ask
going
you
to
about
be
your
improper
meeting.
in this particular interpretation.
Because you cannot answer
I
the
can
questions
answer.
I'm going to
I
ask
can
you.
answer, but I won't be baited into that trap.
You met,
The point
you met
here
Brady.
is, Mr. President, this is
Mr.
how I felt.
President, may I request this gentleman.
Mr. President,
To
in
be
that case,
admonished.
I will refuse to yield the floor anymore.
Well,
for,
in that case, I
any
will read it to,
interpolation.
I will read
And,
it to the record, the notes that Mrs. Brady or Ambassador Brady wrote about your conversation with her in Beijing on August 12, 2012. You want me to read
point
this?
of order, Mr. President.
You want me to read this?
A point of
What is the
order.
point of order?
The
from Bicol?
Senate President may reveal sensitive information pertaining to foreign relations and national security, and I believe it is out of order in
You
this
do not teach me what
session.
the parliamentary proceedings. I'm not answerable to anybody
There
about
is a
what
point
I
of
say
order,
in this hall.
Mr. President.
The Senate President may proceed.
All right, and I have here the white paper that you've been writing about the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. August 17 2012. He cannot take the hit. He's a coward. Senator Trillanes requested that no notes be taken. That's one. Two, what the Chinese
Nag-uulat, what's new?